The rivers that cross our planet are silent witnesses of the history of humanity. One of these iconic rivers, the Euphrates, has been the scene of countless stories over the centuries. Today, we will delve into his fascinating story. In this video, we will discover all the secrets and wonders that the Euphrates River has to offer us. But before we embark on this exciting journey, we invite you to show us your support by liking this video. Let's get started. The Euphrates River is located west of the two great rivers that define Mesopotamia, along with the Tigris River. Together, they make up an immense river system in a region of alluvial salt marshes in the Middle East. The Euphrates River is located in Asia and has a length of approximately 2,800 kilometers, from its source in Turkey to its mouth in Iraq, crossing part of Syria. The river flows in a southeasterly direction until it reaches Iraq, north of Basra, where it joins the Tigris to form the Shatt al-Arab River, which eventually empties into the Persian Gulf. Throughout history, it has been known as the Blue Gold and has been a generator of life for thousands of years on its margins. However, there are awarenesses that practically no one remembers today. Since its source in Turkey, the river has seen its flow decrease over the years. Together with the Euphrates River, its main tributary, it has been the place where Arab, Muslim, Christian, Kurdish, Turkmen and Jewish peoples have developed. The oldest data on civilizations come from this region. The economic life of the Euphrates River basin remains largely dependent on the waters of the rivers. Although oil revenues have also played a dominant role in Iraq, modern water control technology has reduced the devastating effects of the flood and drought cycle. However, this has led to the drying out of the marshes and decreased natural replenishment of soil nutrients. In terms of politics, there is great controversy regarding water use and the potential for conflict in the region. It is always latent, since Turkey is located closer to the headwaters of both waterways, which gives it a clear geographical advantage. The Southeast Anatolia project, which involves the construction of dams and water diversion tunnels, has caused consternation among downstream riparian countries since the 1960s. As the majority of water in the region originates in Turkey, Ankara believes it alone has the power to determine how the resource is allocated. On the other hand, Iraq argues that it has historical rights to a guaranteed portion of the water in the basin. The asymmetry of power between regional states has led to divergent views that are difficult to reconcile peacefully. Between 1975 and 1991, the three riversides threatened each other militarily on three different occasions, and the negotiations over the distribution of water were affected. The conflict has so far been diffused through the efforts of external mediators. In the past, Saudi Arabia and the Soviet Union have intervened and tensions have been reduced before they escalated into conflict. However, there currently appear to be no international or regional powers willing or able to encourage the dependent states of the Tigris and Euphrates basin to resolve transboundary water-related issues. Among the animals we find in the Euphrates River area are wild pigs, very common in the marshes and which have spread to the newly planted eucalyptus plantations in other parts of the floodplain. Also, jackals, otters and mongooses are found along the rivers in southern Iraq. Additionally, a wide variety of Indian jungle cats still live in remote tamarisk thickets. Lions were last sighted along the Tigris in 1926. Foxes, wolves and gazelles are common on the plain, and some of these animals range as far north as Anatolia. Smaller animals include species of gerbils, hares, shrews, bats, hedgehogs, river otters, and Buck's mole rat. The latter covers the entrance to the burrow on the bank with a mound of clay. Locally inhabiting birds include warblers, magpies, crows, owls and a variety of falcons, eagles and vultures. In spring and autumn, many migratory birds between Europe and Asia, pelicans, storks and various types of geese fly along the river courses, and the marshes provide nutrition for some migratory species. Due to pollution, mismanagement and drought, the river is experiencing a drying process that is leading to its reduction. 6 of the dams built on its waters are contributing to the risk of depleting the river's flow throughout the region. The blame for this situation falls on Iraq, Turkey and Syria, and at some point the flow is expected to be half of what it is today. This drought has caused great devastation along its waters. Its channels are shallow and the fauna is dying. This, added to an increase in the frequency of droughts, causes its waters to decrease more and more. From the biblical point of view, it is written that the river will dry up and give way to the birth of a new city, as mentioned in the Apocalypse. Some curiosities about the Euphrates River are the following. According to experts, there is a belief that a tunnel was built under the Euphrates River that secretly linked the royal palaces on both sides of the river. The Euphrates River has numerous mentions in both the Jewish and Christian Bibles, as well as in the warnings of the Prophet Muhammad. In ancient times, the river valley was highly irrigated and housed many large cities on its banks. The ruins of some of these communities still remain. The Euphrates marks the northeastern boundary of the land that God promised to Abraham. In Islam, some of the Prophet Muhammad's divinations suggest that the Euphrates will dry up, revealing unknown treasures that will be the cause of conflicts and wars. The Euphrates River, along with the Tigris and the Nile, is one of the main sources of life in the Middle East. Thanks to this river, many civilizations since ancient times have been able to develop by taking advantage of the water that flows through its channel. It is unfortunate that due to mismanagement and droughts, the Euphrates is experiencing a decline. It is stifled by the water policies of Iraq's neighbors, Turkey and Syria, as well as a 2-year drought and years of misuse by Iraq and its farmers. The river is now significantly smaller than it was just a few years ago, and some officials fear it could shrink to half its current size. The brutal drought that has affected the flows of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers for years is allowing some archaeological treasures to emerge to the surface. The basins of these rivers as they pass through Iraq and Syria are areas highly affected by climate change. The dramatic lack of rain has generated a marked and persistent drought in this region of the Middle East. The great decrease in the waters of rivers and reservoirs has allowed the resurgence of several archaeological treasures. Recently, the decrease in the flow of the Euphrates River has revealed several archaeological sites dating back to 11,000 years ago in northern Syria. These sites were under the waters of the Al-Asad Reservoir, built in the early 1970s. Residential and administrative buildings, a metal smelting site, a massive fortification with walls up to 6 meters wide and towers have been found, as well as a monumental multi-story storage building and an industrial complex. Archaeologists worked under pressure to quickly excavate and document at least part of this city before it was submerged again. They were shocked by the good state of preservation of the sun-dried mud brick walls, which were underwater for more than 40 years. This is because the city was destroyed by an earthquake around 1350 BC, during which the upper parts of the walls collapsed and buried the buildings. They also found 5 ceramic vessels containing an archive of more than 100 uniform tablets, which are known as a type of letters made of unfired clay from the Middle Assyrian period. After that earthquake, some are still in their envelopes and in good condition. Researchers hope this discovery will provide information about the end of the city of the Mitanni period and the beginning of Assyrian rule in the region. The Euphrates was and continues to be one of the pillars of many of the peoples of the Middle East. Its waters make the nearby soils fertile and suitable for agriculture, providing food, especially cereals such as wheat and barley, as well as trees such as the fig tree. Fresh water is necessary for drinking, washing, cooking and other basic activities, as well as being a source of fish. For all these reasons, the river became a route for trade since ancient times. Although its waters are not suitable for the passage of large vessels at present, it is navigable to the city of Hit in Iraq. Definitely, the Euphrates River is one of the most impressive resources of all.